You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's Sunday now on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Angels with Scaly Wings, Anna's Path. So y'all, before we jump into it, just want to let y'all know that our Patreon is out for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming not safe for work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and it would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky, and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. You killed those dragons, Reza. What a brilliant deduction, Sherlock. Why did you do it? Do you really need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. You wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to acquire some generators. Some of the dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares that they got back their generators I stole? With just this one, we won't need any of the others. How could you do this? How could I do this? Let me ask you this. What harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyway? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make the generators for us. How about we don't let them all die? They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon, if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions as long as we make the necessary changes. See, it's not as bad as you might think. I'm not gonna just abandon them like that, only for their whole civilization to be wiped out. Get your priorities straight, Keegan. Next, you'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with a steak. And you're not satisfied just starving by yourself. No, you're gonna let all of us starve because you want to impose your morals on everyone. Since when do you think that you get to have any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequences. Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. You know I don't care about corporal punishment. Just let me through and you can do whatever you wish. You can't do that, Reza. I see how it is. They told you they need this generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you've become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know they have as much of a vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does. That I and you do, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours? Their entire world is on the line here. They live in perfect harmony with their perfect green energy source and no reason for wars or conflicts, yada yada yada. We had that too, and you know what happened to then, of course. Yeah, you know what happened then. Of course you do. It's such an idiotic trope, you know. Random person meets weird natives, learns their ways, and then ends up saving them. There you go, coffee. What do they need you for, huh? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason if they can't even save themselves. You know of our suffering, yet we'll let them have it? I don't care what happens to them, but unlike you, I was at least trying to save humanity at any cost. We have the solution right here, and you want to go get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us. Not like this. Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I wouldn't have spent the last few weeks doing what you didn't. We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours where this is a perfect solution to everything. You should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. I think I know why. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they all die back home, do you? As long as you can stay here in this perfect little world of yours. You've discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it's because you just don't have a life back home. I can even understand that a little. Of course, it would be nice to just stay here where they have everything that we don't. But being here also reminded me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but it leveled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference. For all of our efforts, what did we get? A vote that was meaningless in a sea of stupidity and lies. Now everyone has to pull their own weight. We make the rules. You of all people should understand. Of course they wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is. To live like we do now. To see the world burn and everyone you know die around you. And because I have, I won't let the same thing happen to them. How many do you think died back home just in the 2 weeks you've been here because we don't have the power for the hospital, huh? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning? Or do you just care about the few dragons I killed? Our city is the last bastion of a civilized society in a world where nothing else is left. Maybe you have forgotten about them, but I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be there in a month? A year? Or are they just a statistic to you? The same can be said for the dragons. What do you want to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this? And then what? It's too late anyway. You think they're gonna just let us go after what I've done? Fat chance. Whatever you may think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action. Why are you telling me this? Because I expect you to join me. That's not going to happen. And you call yourself an ambassador? This generator is the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this? The dragons also need that generator, and I'll do what is necessary to stop you if I have to. So that makes you judge, jury, and executioner. What a wonderful set of morals you have there, Keegan. We only need to wait until the comet has passed safely. You think you can stop the comet? And you need this generator to do that. Sure, if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any and all hope to save our own. We're so close now. We can't risk anything by waiting for your crazy plan when back home they are dying by the minute. I will not let you. You only want to save your own two-faced hide because you don't want to face the consequences of what you did. Why are you laughing about this? Because it's a joke. It must be. I'm the one with the gun and you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me? Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't stop me now anyway. Maybe I can. Suddenly, Maverick and Anna appeared next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Keegan? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you'd really do that, Reza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity! Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. My first instinct was to run away, but as Maverick started charging, so did Anna and I. Maverick was fast, pouncing on Reza before he had a chance to aim at any of us. He was knocked to the ground, and Maverick embedded his teeth into the body before him. Reza was screaming. He aimed at Maverick's head and frantically pulled the trigger twice. The jaws dislodged, and Reza aimed his gun in my direction. Out of nowhere, Anna tackled me, shoving us both out of the way just before Reza unloaded the weapon in our direction. Both of us were seemingly unharmed, and by the time Reza was reloading his gun, Anna was already up again and running towards him. Just as he raised his arm to aim at her, she jumped and collided with him, causing him to miss his target wildly. She was on top of him now, raising a hind leg before slitting his throat with one of the large claws at the end of it. Jesus, that is a really, really realistic sound. And comfortably realistic. Immediately he slumped. Blood gushed from his wound as he helplessly squirmed on the ground, and horrible, distorted noises left his severed windpipe. After a few seconds, his movement stopped, and Anna returned to me. Second, Neil. Are you alright? Yeah. We went to check on the others, but both Maverick and the administrator were dead. Oh, poor Maverick. In the weeks that followed, the dragons prepared for the comet. I, on the other hand, spent more time with Anna as she opened up about her condition. When the time came, the dragons executed their plan, and by utilizing the underground building's generators, the comet was ultimately diverted and never hit Earth. Even after they recovered and power was restored to the portal, I knew that I wouldn't be able to return to my own time as the administrator, Izumi, had deleted the coordinates I needed to return home when she repaired the portal a while ago. While she had her own reasons for doing this, it meant that now my only options were to stay here, or to use the portal and the coordinates she had entered to travel back in time and return to the day of my arrival in this world. However, I wasn't very concerned about this at the moment, as I spent my time in this world accompanying Anna on her journey. For her help in stopping Reza, she was awarded the highest honor the Council could bestow on her, citing her bravery and exceptional service to the community. As a result, the case against her was dropped and she was cleared of all charges. In the months that followed, I was with her during her cancer treatments and could only watch as her condition worsened by the day. At this point, she was living in a hospice and had become thin and weak as her disease had eroded her both physically and mentally. What did the doctor say? Who cares what the doctor says? I know he sugarcoats everything. It's not going to be long now, or else I wouldn't even be here. I'm not sure if there's any sensible way to ask this, but we're talking about less than a week. Besides, I'm the one who's dying here, not you. No reason for you to be so upset. She looked away from me as I saw tears welling up in her eyes. To think that in your world you already had a cure for cancer. How pointlessly tragic. Yet here I am, being what I never wanted to become. Oh. But at least I'm not alone. A few days later, she passed away quietly in her sleep. The council held a funeral in her honor, which I didn't attend. Now that I had been with Anna until the end, I had a decision to make. I could either stay here, accept this outcome and all its consequences, or, by using the portal and Izumi's coordinates, travel back in time and return to the day of my arrival in this world. This way, I could get the chance to try again. No doubt it would be a risk to relive this roller coaster of emotions. After all, I would have to go through all the events and their dangers again, but maybe it would be worth it. Alright, y'all. We have reached the end of Anna's path, and yeah, I teared up a bit there. I did. It was really hard seeing Anna like that. God, all this death and destruction is just so fucking pointless. Reza deserved what he got in the end. Didn't even want to try any alternative paths. Well, I mean, the alternative was extremely risky, and it would basically mean that doom all humanity. In his mind, he thought what he was doing was right, and I could understand where he was coming from. It's just the way he went about it was very ruthless and cruel. Yeah, y'all, so this has been the end of Anna's path, and it didn't turn out too well at all. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Armor. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier anyway. If y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to our not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!